I can do it.
Okay, I'll contact Mataji. Hare Krishna. Kindly start, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Yes, Mataji. I will start. I thought you were asking something. I thought to other Mataji like contact. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुश्रीयुतपादकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोऽस्तु ते तप्त काञ्चन गौरङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधारा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Mataji, for wonderful Mangalacharan. I think we can start with the recitation of the shloka. Hare Krishna, Indulekha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna, Indusa, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna. So we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 2, and the text for today is text 9. Do we have Indulekha Mataji? Is it possible for you to read the text?
Sorry, Kritika, I'm in the kitchen. I have to give class later on. Just
Okay.
like 2 hours. So sorry for what to do.
Not a problem. I'll read the text. So we are reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 3, Chapter 2, text 9. In Gita Jnana Pura Pravutta Ekarmascha Satvata Satvatam Rishabham Sarve Bhuta Vasam Anam Sata. In Ginita Jnana, expert in psychic studies. Puru Puradha, highly experienced. Eka, one. Arama, relaxation. Cha, also. Satvataha, devotees or own men. Satvatam, Rishabham, head of the family. Sarve, all. Bhuta avasham, all pervading. Amam sata, good thing. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Would anybody like to read the translation and purport? The English translation and purport? Doreen Indusa? Okay, maybe I can continue. Anybody would like to practice the shloka recitation? We have time till Mataji comes. You know, she's working, so she might join in a little late. Yes, Indusa, Hare Krishna. Would you like to read the Sanskrit?
Okay.
So we can all practice Sanskrit. So you say the first line, then we can repeat after you.
Ingita Gyana Puru Prauda
Ingineta Jnana Puru Paurdha
Ekaramascha Satvata
Ikarmascha Satvata
Satvatam Shabam Sarve
Sattvatam Rishabham Sarve
Bhutavasham Amam Sata
Bhutavasam Amam Sata. Very nice. Thank you so much, Mataji, for the Sanskrit recital. Anybody would like to practice? Okay, we can go on to the text and translation and purport. Any volunteers? Okay, I can read the translation. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxation, and still they were only able to know Him as the one Supreme who dwells everywhere. Purport. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition or power of mental speculation. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhyo na Meda Ya na Bhahuna Rutena. Katha Upanishad 1.2.23. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The Yadavas were all exceptionally learned and experienced. But in spite of this, their knowing the Lord, all exceptionally learned and experienced, but in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that He is the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition. It was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as the Paramatma because the residents of Vrindavan were pure unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of Him only as their object of love. They did not know that He is the personality of Godhead. The Yadus, or the residents of Dwarka, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudev, or the super soul living everywhere, but not as a supreme Lord. As scholars of the Veda, they verified the Vedic hymns, Eko Devam Sarvabhuta Dvishasa Antaryami and Krishnam Paradevata. The Yadus therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul incarnated in their family and not more than that. Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Mataji, for joining in and giving your precious time. I know busy at work and still you have managed to join us, so we don't take it for granted. Mataji, we are reading the Canto 3, Chapter 2, which is Remembrance of Lord Krishna, and we are on text 9. So over to you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschayata Deshadarane Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Srinivata Swagata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hridayantastoti Abhadrani Vidunoti Subrit Satam Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So we are in the third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second chapter. First of all, I think it's great pleasure to see Indulika Mataji after a long time. I think
Hare
we missed
Krishna,
you.
Mataji. After a long time, yes. You're very rare now. Thank
No,
you.
Mataji, just for the last month, I was busy, but I have been consistent. Hopefully, I've been consistent. Just the last month was a little too much
You
on
look
my
so
plate to handle.
beautiful. You look so beautiful in sari. Very nice.
Oh, thank you, Mataji. I happened to give another class just before this class, so I just thought I'll
Yeah.
continue the same.
Very nice.
Thank
It's very pretty.
you. Hare Krishna. So let's get into the chapter for today and the verse for today as well. Dear devotees, as Mataji read the verses, we are able to see the connection, right? So if you look at verse number 3, there it is said, Uddhava served the Lord continuously from the childhood, and his old age, that attitude of service never slackened, even at old age. As soon as he was asked about the message of the Lord, he at once remembered all about him. Then, after that, what happened? For a moment, he remained silent. His body did not move. He became absorbed in the nectar of remembering Lord's lotus feet in devotional ecstasy, and he appeared to be going increasingly deeper into that ecstasy. It was observed by Vidura that Uddhava had all the transcendental body changes due to total ecstasy, and he was simply trying to wipe away the tears of separation from his eyes. That thus Vidura could understand that Uddhava had completely assimilated the extensive love of the Lord. The great devotee Uddhava came back from the abode of the Lord to the human plane, and wiping his eyes, he awakened his reminiscence of the past and spoke to Vidura in a pleasing mood. Uddhava said, My dear Vidura, the son of the world, Lord Krishna has set, and our house has now been swallowed by the great snake of time. What can I say about our welfare? This universe with all the planets is most unfortunate, and even the most unfortunate are the members of Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Lordhead any more than a fish could identify a moon. Now, this is the point, dear devotees. Again, ye tamam prapatyanti tams tataiva bhajamyaham. Depending upon what your mood is, the Lord will reciprocate accordingly. Now, if you look at it, so Buddhava is telling, oh, you know what? How unfortunate are the Yadus. Why? Because to know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one thing. To know him as the controller of our heart is another thing, right? Controller meaning super soul of the heart is another thing. It's not equal to him being known as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. There is a difference. They could not. Now, what is Uddhava's resentment? He's just feeling bad that these Yadus are not able to identify Lord Hari as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's very unfortunate. Now, we all know Yadus are all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations, and yet they were only able to know Him as the Supreme who dwells in everybody's heart. This is the point, dear devotees. Now, in today's class, I'm actually going to go over episode of pure devotees of the Lord who know him as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is how I want to contrast. For us, if depending on how your mood is, accordingly, Lord will reciprocate. Okay, if you want him to be known as Brahman, and if you want if you want to merge in Brahman, and that's all you get, depending on what your desire is, that's what I will give you. Lord will not reveal, yeah, you know what, I'm Supreme Hari, I'm Lord, I'm. I am the Supreme Personality who's the controller of all, or say I am Krishna, who's son of who's son of Yashodama Nanda. No, that is not what he would reveal to them. However, he likes to be known to that extent. They want whatever they want to know about the Lord. To to their heart's desire, that is what they will get to know. If they want to merge with the Supreme Lord, yes, that's the path they will be given. And that is, oh, why are Brahman realization people, why don't they understand Supreme Lord to be the controller, or Supreme Lord to be, we are all eternal servants of the Lord. Why don't they have that mood of service attitude? They don't. Everybody will not have the mood of service attitude. Oh, I know I am the servant of the servant of the servant of the Lord. That is my eternal position. But now I've forgotten that. Will I know it? How will I know it? Only by association of devotees. But now, if you look at Brahman realization, those who want to get to Brahma Jyoti, then they will be under that association of those people who all want to merge in Brahman. Now they won't have the understanding of Lord as us to be servants of the Lord. So that service attitude don't come to them. All they are looking for is, I want to merge in Brahman. I want to be free from any kind of distress, miseries. I just want to be at peace. Do I want to serve the Lord? No, I don't want to serve the Lord. I just want to merge in the body of the Lord. This is what I hanker for, and this is what I desire for, and this is what I want. So, okay, Lord says, fine. You get that? And to even get to where we are is a big thing, dear devotees. To get to know that we are the servants of the Lord and our duty is to eternally serve Him and His devotees is a big thing. To know about pure devotion, it's even more big thing, because nobody in this world can reveal the secret of what pure devotional service except our Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because his appearance day just passed a few weeks ago or a few days ago, I just want to recollect how he has showered his mercy upon his devotees. So that's what I thought we could do as a contrast to kind of understand. For us, it's all about pure devotion. Nothing but pure devotion. Here or there, we have to come back to understanding what is pure devotion and how Lord reciprocates with his pure devotees. So this is going to be the crux of today's class. Understanding Lord's Mahaprakash Leela and trying to get some insights onto that will be today's class. And it's mainly taken from Chaitanya Charitamrita, dear devotees. So I hope you all could relish this. Now, before we even get started, I would like to give you all an overview, okay? In Chaitanya Charitamrita, if you look at, we'll be specifically covering Lord's pastimes in his Mahaprakash Leela. Now, I'll give you, as I said, I'll tell you a little bit, and then we'll get started with the pastimes. So one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told his devotees, we are going to spend our whole day speaking about Krishna. We are going to be serving Krishna, and we are going to be chanting in Kirtan all day. But what we are doing currently is we are wasting time the entire night sleeping and doing such things. So from this day on, for the next 1 year, what we should do is continue to chant the holy names of the Lord even during the night. Of course, if you look at it, this is quite an instruction. But the devotees had so much faith on Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that they all cried out and they said, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita, he taught them how they could accomplish. Meaning, if you are asked to sing whole day, if you are asked to serve Krishna whole day, if you are asked to chant Krishna's holy names whole day, how are you going to achieve it? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, we can accomplish this. We can accomplish this by singing all day and all night through. And then he gave this verse to all of them. He said, Trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadaharihi. If one is humble like a blade of grass, tolerant and forbearing, eager to offer respect to others without demanding or expecting respect for oneself, then one could chant the holy names of the Lord, just not for a minute, but they could do it kirtaniya sadaharihi. They could do it constantly, right? This is the point that the Lord told the devotees. And sometimes the Lord would give an analogy. See, look at this grass. We are sitting on it. We are walking on this grass. And the grass keeps coming back up to serve. not trying to take a higher position, but it is happy at being at everyone's feet. Now, look at the tree. In the summer, it stands and gives direct sunlight. It gives us shade. In the winter, it stands again with ice. It is covered with ice, but it gives us this wood to keep ourselves warm. So, in the hot summer season, when there is drought, the tree will have no water, but still the tree is going to give you delicious fruits to quench our thirst. And even if you cut down the tree will give its body. Just use my body and make your house. The example of tree again is to serve others. And the devotees, as soon as they heard this analogy, they all took it to their heart. Now, understanding this verse is not simple, dear devotees. We can say, yeah, being humble, being humility, but when it comes to practicality, as soon as one's ego is hurt, the real nature will be revealed. It's not easy to keep it straight. That's how we are tuned, right? So many past memories have been stored in our brain that immediately the false ego is what is under attack, and then immediately we think, okay, this is what is our real nature, and we do something that is contradictory to what our real nature is. Coming to the point, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, he says we should take this verse, Trinadapi Sunichena, like it's a jewel of the verse. We should put it on the string of the holy name of the Lord and keep it in our heart always. Now, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because these particular kirtans in Shiva's Pandit's house, they were all doing it all night. It was so intimate, so deep. So now, where everybody allowed enter into Shiva Sangan's house to chant the holy names of the Lord, dance, and all that, no, only pure devotees were given entrance, because others simply they wouldn't understand the level of communication that was happening. They wouldn't understand the level that they were communicating on. Right? Communication with God is happening. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he would dance and dance with the rest of them, just like he's one of the devotees. This is all happening in Shiva Sangan. And Mahaprakash Leela, that we are going to talk about, where the Lord is going to show his avatars to devotees, is happening in Shiva Sangan. And this is happening for 21 consecutive hours. Everyone knew that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, even though he danced like one amongst the devotees, they all know he is the worshipable Lord. They all chanted and danced in great happiness. It was their earning to love him, and they were obviously wanting to serve him according to their natural eternal relationship with him. And one day, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would come to the house of Shiva's, and he manifested what is called Mahaprakash. Outside of Shiva Sangan, there were so many people who wanted to get in, and many were envious, many were proud, and they were all insulted that they couldn't get in, and they started spreading the nastiest possible rumors all over Navadvip. We know why they don't allow us inside the house. There are so many great scholars, Bhattacharyas, Mishras, Chakravartis here in Navadvip, having good reputation. But this Shivas and his associates, they are all criminals. They just want to propagate this because they were not allowed to enter. These Shivas, this Shivas and his associates, they are all low-class thugs. What do they do in the day? You know what they do in the day? They chant tantric mantras to seduce 5 kinds of young girls. And those girls come to the house at night. That's why they lock the doors. They drink all sorts of wine and liquor together. They decorate themselves with luxurious garments. They sing all sorts of passionate songs together. In this way, they engage in most abominable activities. This is what they do day and night. And that's why they don't let us in. Because they know we are moral, we are ethical, we are saintly, we are enlightened people who will not stand this in Navadvip. What is this loud chanting that they're doing? They're all hypocrites. They're saying God is within the heart as Paramatma, the super soul. If God is within the heart, why do they have to scream so loud to hear him? For him to hear? Like us, a silent prayer will be heard by the Lord. If you scream at somebody, you know what happens? I'm screaming at you. What will happen to you? It annoys you, right? It annoys them. It doesn't please them. So why are they screaming at Vishnu? Why are they screaming at Krishna? It's just an insult. It's just an offense. And because of their offense, what's going to happen to Navdweep? There is going to be famine, there is going to be famine, there is going to be drought, there's going to be all sorts of tragedies that is going to happen here in Navadweep. We must stop this right now. We should go to the king and report and have them arrested, put them in the shackles and put them in the prison. Another person says, you know what? We don't have time for all of that. Right now, we should go to Shivasangan's house and break it into pieces and throw the house in Ganges and then shackle him and arrest him and then beat him. This is what we should do. Every night, these people were outside talking like this. One person was a very pious, nice person. And he's telling them, you know what? All these devotees are so fortunate. They are chanting and dancing with Gauranga. The only reason I am not allowed into this is because I don't have enough pious activities to earn such a blessing. This is what is my situation. When the antagonists hear this, they were all outraged. They would scream, he's one among them. Beat him, get him out of the way. The person would have to run away. If you don't get along with what they were talking in terms of criticism, in terms of the propaganda, with the blasphemy, you'll be singled out and you'll be prosecuted. So common people were very, very, what to say, these men were very powerful. They didn't know what to do, the common people, but the devotees couldn't hear any of it because they were totally immersed in the absorption of chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Now, on this particular day, when Lord, he entered into Shivasangan's courtyard, he sat on the throne of Vishnu. In the past, he would sometimes do it in the role of a devotee. Just take a few moments to sit upon it, timidly do it, just to give happiness to devotees. But on this day, he sat firmly with conviction, right? And he sat for 21 continuous hours, revealing his various incarnations according to his devotees' love for him. They began to sing song for Abhishek. They did Purusha Sukta prayers to him. And with thousands and thousands of buckets, there would be water from Ganga that would be poured on Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's head. And he was accepting all of the services that the devotees earned and longed for him. Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita, Gadadhar, these devotees were pouring water over the Lord in Shiva Sangat. And others were carrying water to them so they could pour. And some of Shiva's Prabhu's maid servants, the servants were helping to take the water from the Ganges into his house. Now, dear devotees, this is one beautiful pastime, okay? Listen very carefully. Among them, there was this one girl. Her name is what? Anybody knows?
Dukhi.
Correct, Mataji. So, Dukhi, what does Dukhi mean? Dukhi literally means one who is miserable. Now, please listen to this part very carefully. In Bengal, at that time, if a mother would lose many children, either at birth or at young age, they were very unhappy. If they finally got a nice child born, then they would name that child as Dukhi, which means she is miserable. What is the sentiment or idea behind this? The idea or the sentiment of this is that when Emaraj, the superintendent of death, when he comes, he would feel sorry for her because her name is Dukhi, her name is misery. So let her just be. Like that, he will leave her. Otherwise, how many would name the girl Dukhi, right? Miserable one. But that was her name. What did she do, dear devotees? With such love, she was looking at Lord Gauranga. The way unseen by anyone. She was not at all seen by anyone. She was just taking water from Ganga and then putting it completely on nice straight rows. So the devotees who were bringing it, I mean, when she brought it, the other devotees would bathe the Lord with that. So it's such a simple service of bringing some pots of water and putting them in nice rows. But she was doing it with great devotion. Such honor, such respect for all the devotees who love the Lord. And such was her devotion to the Lord. Nobody noticed her. Everyone, obviously, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is getting his Abhishek done. How many of them would be looking at Duki when Gaurang Mahaprabhu is having his Abhishek? For the first time ever in history. It didn't happen at all. And this is the first time Lord would sit on the throne of Vishnu and everybody would pour gallons and gallons of Ganga water upon him. And the Lord Gauranga would look at Duki. There were Swamijis there were Acharyas there were Paramahamsas there, and he was looking at this little Duki. And he asked Shiva, who's this girl? Who's this girl? And Shiva said, she's just a simple maidservant. Her name is Duki. Sri Gaura Sundara said, her name, Duki, doesn't feel right to me. I don't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel right in my heart for some reason. On this day, I'm going to give her the name Suki, which means the happy one. With that name, he gave her unlimited eternal happiness. He gave her the ultimate perfection of life, which is Prema Bhakti. Again, we all know the 4 goals of religion that most people follow are Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. Religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and liberation. But the Purushartha ceremony, the crest of all jewels, is what? Prema Pumartom Han. The awakening of eternal ecstatic love of Krishna that is in the heart of every devotee. He gave Suki that blessing. Now, you may understand how many lifetimes yogis do spend their life doing severe austerities, perfecting their breath control, right? They have to meditate. They shouldn't have any thoughts. They go through the phases of, the yogic phases, and then finally get into samadhi through, and then they have to obviously take care of their physical posture and everything. What jnanis do? They spend a lot of time analyzing the scriptures, analyzing the sutras, discriminating. Okay, this is matter, this is spirit. Now, Sukhi Duki, she attained the same goal just by her simple, pure-hearted desire to serve the Lord, by carrying some pots of water. This is how, dear devotees, Mahaprakash Leela is beginning. Now, we all saw that Lord was bathed, Abhishek was done. After this, what is going to happen? Eventually, the devotees want to feed the Lord. This is the next step. Their desire was unlimited to feed him. Again, ye yatamam prapatyante tamstateva bhajamyam. Krishna reciprocates according to our desire. Now, sometimes you get a guest in the house. You may want to feed them a lot, but how much can they eat? Everybody has a certain capacity, right? And even if you would love to reciprocate unlimitedly, they have only a certain capacity to eat. But Lord Chaitanya said, bring me whatever pleases your heart. They would bring him. They brought dozens and dozens of bananas. Within a fraction of a moment, he ate them. How did he eat them? And then done? No. He did it very gracefully. That's the point. He wasn't like a universal form there. It was trying to devour everything. And then done. All done. No. He was doing it so gracefully. And he did it in a minute. He did it in a moment. This is his inconceivable Sakti, right? They brought him. They were also enthusiastic. They brought more and more and more, running into villages, sending out other people. Yeah, bring everything that you could find. This person will say, and thousands of others will bring bundle and bundles of bananas. They will bring thousands of pots of Ganga water. They would prepare thousands of sandesh, butter, thousands of buckets of the butter and dahi and milk, thousands of coconuts, thousands of betel nits, and everything. And within a moment, he kept saying, bring more, bring more. Obviously, I can't do this, right? It doesn't mean nobody could do it. If God, if he is absolute truth and he's compared to us, what's the use of being God? He's Sarveshwara. He's the controller of controllers. He's creating, he's controlling the movements of the sun. He's controlling various planets, various universes. Now, if you look at us, we can't even control. If a nature call comes, then I have to stop. Excuse me, Mataji, I have to attend my nature's call. That's my problem. It doesn't matter what race, what sex, and what degree I got from college. It doesn't matter. When the nature calls, I have to be under its control. That's human nature. But with the Lord, while he's taking all this stuff, did he get a nature call? No. What did he eat? What did he drink? Literally tens and thousands of pots of Ganga water. He was smiling. Did he grow in size? No, he didn't grow in size. What was happening? It's not that the Lord was hungry for water or sandesh or bananas or coconuts or betel nuts and everything else. What was he hungry of? He was hungry for the love of his devotees. The Supreme Lord is the only person who can accept unlimited quantities of love. And the Supreme Lord gives unlimited quantities of love. They bathed him, they dressed him nicely, they put garlands upon him, they fed him, and beautiful kirtan was taking place. Lord Chaitanya blessed each and every devotee who was present there by revealing his most intimate form to them and offering them any boon they liked. And he even tells them about their past lives. Now he's looking at Shivas. He's telling Shivas, do you remember? Do you remember years ago what happened? And then he recollects a story about Shivas. Let's get into that, dear devotees. It's all part of Mahaprakash Leela. So now he's remembering about Shivas' past life. And he's telling, you remember Shivas? You were at the school of Devananda Pandit and he was reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. And as you were hearing the verses, you were so moved with the love for Krishna that you started to cry and uncontrollably you called out Krishna. The students who were sitting there, they considered you to be a disturbance to them. Of course, if you do it now in a class, we would be considered as a disturbance because we are not like Shivas. We don't have that spiritual trance of ecstasy of love. And they taught him, these students, they taught him to be anybody else. So the students would just pick him up, they took him outside and dropped him on the ground to a distant place and then they went back. When Shivas came out of the trance, he found himself laying there. He was very sad. Don't you remember that incident, Shivas? And because you felt so sad, you went home and you started to read Srimad Bhagavatam somehow to transcend that sadness. And as you were reading Srimad Bhagavatam, there was such deep ananda, that is that love that awakened in your heart. It was uncontrollable. And since that time, every time you pick up Bhagavatam and read it, tears would flow from your eyes in trance because of love for Krishna, because of total absorption for Krishna. He said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling Shivas, who gave you that feeling? I am the one who gave you that feeling. I could not see you being in such a sorrow. When Shivas heard this, he was overwhelmed with God's love, right? And then he pointed out, hey, Gangadas, do you remember many years ago? He's coming to another devotee and he's talking about the past time. He's talking about his memory, past memory. You remember, Gangadas, many years ago, when the king was sending dacoits and murderous people to persecute the people of Navadvip, they were all chasing after you and your family, and you ran away, and you ultimately came to the bank of Ganges. At that time, it was middle of the night, and there were rapists and murderers. They were fast approaching you, and there was no boat for you. No boat. And the Ganga was so wide and it was very strong. And you were crying. You decided rather than allowing these people to touch your wife, your daughters, your family, that you would drown yourselves in Ganga. This was what was your situation. At that moment, you remember a boatman out of nowhere came out of the darkness and said, I can save you. And then, obviously you asked this boatman to save you and your family. And you said you would give him anything you want. And what did the boatman do? The boatman actually took you to the other side. Gangadas, you never told anyone that story. But I know this. Why? Because I was the one who descended from the spiritual world to become that boatman to save you. Obviously, Gangadas was thrilled and overflowing with gratitude, right? And now, the next pastime here in Mahaprakash is with Kolavecha Sridhar. Everybody knows about this pastime, but again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, we are able to delve into it today. Now the Lord said, okay, next, bring Sridhar. Devotee said, who is Sridhar? Gaurasundara replied, he is my loving devotee. I want to see him. Nobody even knows who he is. He's just a simple banana leaf seller. Because he was so insignificant, so poor from a social perspective. Right? He was very poor from a social perspective. Nobody even knows him. Whoever saw him, they all called him Kolavecha. Kolavecha means banana seller. They didn't even care to know his name. But this Kolavecha Sridhar, he is such a dear devotee that for 12 hours continuously every night, he is crying out the names of Krishna. You just go to, Lord is telling everyone, Lord is telling his devotees, just go towards Simantadweep, towards the edge of Navadweep town, you will hear his voice. Just follow that sound, you will find him. The devotees were running. Sure enough, they heard from a very far distance the humble cry of the holy names of the Lord. They went to Sridhar. They said, Sridhar, Lord Gauranga is calling you. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is calling you. Now, by this time, Sridhar knew Lord Gauranga was his beloved Lord. He fell to the ground. Why is he calling me? Just come, just come. Now, they had to practically lift Sridhar and practically carry him back. He felt so unqualified. And he was standing right before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Lord Chaitanya said, Kolavichi Sridhar, you have given me nice bananas for so many years, and I wouldn't eat a single meal if it was not for a brand new banana leaf plate that you would give me every day. Now I want to reveal myself to you. Sridhar looked up. What did he see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as? He saw Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form became Krishna. He was standing with a complexion of Tamal tree, the same Shyamasundara. That was the eternal object of Sridhar's love and devotion. He had beautiful lotus eyes, curling black hair with his loving face. His lips, obviously, was like banduli fruit, red in color. He had Kaustubha on his chest. That gaze, love, that gaze of love, with that gaze of love, what did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? He looked at Sridhar. On the side was Balaram with a complexion of spring cloud. He saw the forests of Vrindavan, the Tamil trees, the Kadamba trees, the banyan trees. He saw Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Sukadev, and four Kumaras with their hands folded, offering beautiful prayers to Krishna and Balaram. He saw the unlimited Surabhi cows filling the entire background. Kolavecha Sridhar, upon seeing this beautiful darshan, the ultimate object of his meditation, he fainted in divine ecstasy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Sridhar, get up. Behold my beautiful form. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he began to recount the wonderful pastimes he had with Sridhar as a young boy for everyone to hear. Now, he said, before he went to Gaya, when Nimai was performing his pastimes of a restless student and a very restless teacher, nobody knew that he was Krishna himself. Obviously, but everybody loved Nimai. So Sridhar, he would sit on the side of the road selling whatever little he had. He grew some bananas. So what he would do, sometimes he would somehow rather purchase banana leaves or grow them. He would also get some bananas or banana roots or banana bark. Whatever part of banana tree, he would like to have that as an item to sell. He was very honest. He was compared to that of Maharaj Yudhishthir. He would never want to hurt anyone. This was the businessman Sridhar was. He wanted to survive in his lifestyle in such a way that he could charge the least possible for whatever he sold. Now, it's impossible to meet a business person like him. Anybody who came to him, he was so honest, so fair, and he would give them a rock bottom price. Nobody would even argue or bargain with that, right? Except for Nimai. Nimai would carry, oh, Sridhar, how much is the bananas? I want a very fair price, okay? And Nimai would tell Kolavicha Sridhar, why are you cheating me? I'll only give you half of what you ask. But how will I survive if you give me half of what I ask for? And Sridhar, with whatever money he had, what he would do is he would first, the first half of it, he would give it to Mother Ganga. Because he understood that Mother Ganga is ultimately a person. She's the devotee of the Lord. She's the energy of the Lord. And she has descended to purify us through her blessings, through her grace. Now, on a physical level, Mother Ganga is sustaining the whole civilization of people on her banks by providing, say, water or filling the wells and such things. But beyond that, she's not an ordinary river. The breeze that touches Ganga, the water of Ganga, or one who bathes in it or touches it or tastes it, they get purified. So, if we are truly receptive, Ganga Mai will awaken the love of Krishna in our heart. This was the love he had for Krishna. Nimai said, I'm going to give you only half of what you asked for. Don't argue about the price. And now they would just keep arguing about the price. And in the end, I will take it for nothing. That's what Nimai would say. And Sridhar would be so charmed by this beautiful young boy. He would say, Nimai, whatever you do, whatever you say, it just makes me happy. This was the loving relationship that Nimai would come. Every day he would come to minimum 2 hours every day. They would argue about a price of banana, not because of the banana, because obviously they want to be they love each other, because this is just not about a banana talk, right? The price of the banana is what they'll be discussing for 2 hours. No, it's not about the price, or it's not about the banana itself. The point is they wouldn't be able to give up each other's association. That was the medium. Again, apparently material in things in this world can be incredible spiritual medium between devotees if Krishna is in the center. And in this case, Sridhar didn't even know Krishna was in the center, but he felt as if Krishna was in the center. One day, Nimai said, Sridhar, you're so poor. You worship Krishna. You chant his name all the time. I've heard he would just chant Hari Hari all the time, Mahamantra. And these materialistic people who were around him, they all hated Sridhar. They all couldn't tolerate him. They would say nasty rumors about Sridhar. They would say, yeah, he's just a total failure. Look at the type of clothes he wears. Look at the type of house he lives in. And now he's trying to make himself out to be a big saint chanting all night. He's not a devotee. He's not just chanting out of love. He's just being tortured by hunger. And because he can make a living, he's just crying out in hunger pains. And sometimes they would just pick up a vegetable and throw at him. Sridhar, eat and shut up. Sridhar would smile and chant Krishna's name. And Nimai would tell him, what is Krishna doing to you? Look at your clothes. Sridhar, there are so many holes in your clothes. You can't even afford a needle and a thread. You take 2 different sides of holes, tie the knots to close them. And I see 2 dozen knots in your clothing. Look at your house. It's just a straw thatched hut. And I'm sure the roof is going to leak during monsoon season. I don't see a single piece of furniture in your house. All you have is a beaten up iron pot that is used for all purposes. And look at your body. It's practically emaciated. You hardly eat anything. Around you, there are people, they are not devotees of Krishna. Look at them. They all have beautiful houses, nice houses. They are nice and strong. They have good clothes. What is Krishna doing for you? Sridhar smiled. He said, Nimai, in my years in this world, I have come to learn through my observation that there is a king. What does this king have? The king has beautiful fine clothes. He has a beautiful palace. He eats most of the royal foods. And now I see a bird, okay? The bird wears the old same feathers every day. It doesn't change clothes like the king does. He lives in a little nest of straw and he eats whatever little berries that are there on the trees. He said, I don't see any difference between the two. Time is passing the same way for the bird and the king. They both are struggling. They both are enjoying and the time is passing the same way. So I may not have much, but you know what? I'm very happy with what I have because I have Krishna. Nimai said, you're a cheater, you're a hypocrite. You have great wealth, but you're hiding it. And Sridhar said, what do you mean? Whatever you see is what I have. Seeing is believing, right? I don't have anything. And Nimai was like, yeah, you're hiding a treasure. In this way, you're cheating people. But someday, you know what? I'm going to expose your real treasure. And Sridhar didn't know what to say. Chaitanya said, so how many bananas will you give me? How much? Again, give me a fair price. He said, he is telling Kolavicha Sridhar, you worship Mother Ganga, right? You offer her so many offerings. You know what? I am the father of Mother Ganga. She is holy and she was sacred because she washed my lotus feet. And Sridhar would block his ears and he would just be so, I mean, he would say, Nimai, you're so restless. You're not even afraid of saying this for Ganga. And then Lord would take the bananas and he would say, you take, you take. Like that, Sridhar will give the bananas to him. Sridhar, every day at his heart, was beating in ecstasy in anticipation that Nimai would come to steal his bananas. He'd be waiting for that. He waited. He would look at the dusty pathway, just waiting for the golden form of Gauranga to come to him. If Gauranga was late, Nimai wasn't. I mean, obviously, if Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Nimai was going to be late, his heart was feeling separation. He didn't know he was Krishna, but he loved him just like he was Krishna. In fact, he loved him even more without knowing he was Krishna. And every day, Kolavicha Sridhar would supply Gauranga with a banana leaf. It was a tradition in Sachimata's house that Nimai would not eat a meal unless it was on a banana leaf that was provided by whom? Kolavicha Sridhar. And every now and then, one straw roof of Sridhar's hut, a squash would grow, wild squash. And Kolavicha Sridhar would always offer that to Nimai. That was their relationship. It was like Nimai did everything, but take from Sridhar. And Sridhar, whatever he did was give to Nimai. And today on Mahaprakash Leela, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was revealing his form of Krishna Balaram. He told Sridhar, offer prayers unto me, Sridhar. And Sridhar said, my lord, you know what? You're the supreme personality of Godhead, and how could I offer prayers to you? I'm not even educated. I'm not an ignorant person. I don't know how to even tell prayers. Nimai said, any words that come out of your mouth is going to be a prayer. Just say something. I'm just looking for you to say something. And then he did one thing. Lord, he commanded Goddess Saraswati to come to the tongue of Sridhar. So whatever feelings he has in his heart, he could eloquently express that in words. And he did. Now it's Kolavicha Sridhar's turn to glorify the Lord. He said, all glories to you, the son of Jagannath Mishra and Sachi Devi. Oh Lord Vishwambar, you have descended from Goloka Vrindavan. That is one of the highest planets. And you shower the whole of Navadvip with the word of bhakti, with the whole world of bhakti. And not only you give bhakti, but you are also conquered by that bhakti. And after you're conquered by bhakti, you take that bhakti within the core of your own heart and give it to others. This is the highest truth, O Lord. You're the controller of the controllers, but yet you agree to be controlled by a love of your devotee. In the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what happened? Bhishma promised Duryodhana that I will make Krishna break his promise today. And what was Krishna's promise? Before the battle began, he told Arjuna and Duryodhana, see, on one side I will give an army, on the other side I will be there. On the other side where I am there, I will not fight, I will not lift a weapon. That's my promise. So Duryodhana was thinking, if you're not going to fight, you're not going to lift a weapon, I'm better off taking an army. So I'll take an army. And Arjuna was very happy. My lord, I only want you. This was the difference in their faith. But during the battle, Bhishma told Duryodhana that he was going to defeat the Pandavas and he was fighting with Arjuna. And in that fight, obviously Bhishma defeated Arjuna. Arjuna was helpless at the point. And Bhishma was about to totally defeat him. At that time, what happened? Krishna picked up a wheel of chariot and charged at Bhishma. I'm sorry if I mispronounced Bhishma's Bhima, but yes, Bhishma. He charged at Bhishma, and Bhishma was in great happiness. Why? That was his whole purpose. He did not want to defeat Arjuna. He wanted to make Krishna break his promise. Because he knew 100%. For sure. Krishna just tells in Bhagavad Gita, before the battle, declare it boldly, Arjuna, my devotee is not going to perish. He would rather break his own promise than having a devotee to break a promise. And Bhishma, he was laying on the bed of arrows. He was remembering all this with such ecstasy. And Krishna was willing to be defeated by Bhishma. Why? Because of his pure devotion. Like this, Kolavicha Sridhar started recounting each and every instance of Krishna. How he was to Yashodamai. Yashodamai, in the month of Kartik, she tied Krishna with a rope and she bound him. And therefore, his name is Damodar. Supreme Lord, he is the master of all universes. He is the absolute. Yashodamai was not a warrior. She was not a mystic. She was a mother of a gopi. But Krishna allowed herself to be, allowed himself to be bound by the rope of her love, just to show for time to come what is the power of bhakti. And then he talked about Satyabhama. He talked about Gopas. You know these Gopas? The Gopas would be carried on your shoulders after they defeat you in wrestling. How is it possible? This is small little Gopa called Shridama. He's not even a wrestler. He doesn't even have muscles. He's just a little cowherd boy. And you defeat Chanur, Mushtik. You defeated Putana, Trinavat, Agasur, Bakasur, name it, Kalia. You defeated all of them. You're all monstrous Rakshasas. And here is Sridham. He wants to wrestle with you. You're like, I'll give up with you, Sridham. I'll give up with you, like that Krishna says. And Sridham says, now you have to ride me on your shoulders and let everybody in Rajabhubi know I defeated you in wrestling. And Krishna, he would gladly put them on shoulders and dance. And all the Gopas will be throwing flowers at Sridham because he won. But they would also throw flowers on Krishna because he ultimately won. For Krishna, that is winning. He is being defeated by the love of his devotees. That is the greatest victory for Krishna. Like this, Kolovich's reader started, enumerating each and every instance. Krishna is conquered by the love of his devotees. And Kolovich's reader said that the devotees, they beg for that bhakti. And if anyone sincerely begs for that pure bhakti, that person will defeat you because you become subordinate to that love of the devotee. You have descended into Navadvip to give bhakti to everyone. So anyone who's willing to receive it, you come to this world to flood people's heart with bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya said, okay, Sridhar, now you ask me a boon. He said, I will give you anything, Sridhar. Sridhar is like, I don't want anything. He said, you're poor. You don't have riches. I can give you riches. I can give you kingdoms. I can give you planets. I can do anything for you, Sridhar. What do you want? Anima, Magima, Lagima, Prapti, the mystic perfections, the supernatural miracles that you can sustain through your life with these mystic powers, and you could live for millions of years. Do you want that? Sridhar said, these mystic things will be a disturbance for me. I don't want it. Well, ask something, Sridhar. I'm ready to give you. Why don't you ask for something? Do you want liberation, moksha, mukti? What everybody else is looking for so they don't suffer? There's no more birth or death. Do you want that? I have no interest in moksha. Ask something, Sridhar. Okay. Then Chaitanya said, to make me happy, I want you to ask something. So he said, if that pleases you, I will ask for one benediction. He said, let me forever be your servant of the servant of the servant of your servants. And let in every birth I have, wherever I may be in my heart, let me forever see this little boy Nimai coming to steal my bananas. This is my only blessing. This is what I want. And hearing this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's heart was overwhelmed with ecstasy, with this love. And the Lord said, I'll give you this benediction. I'll give you this benediction of pure, unalloyed, ecstatic love for Krishna the rest of eternity. When the devotees heard that, they loudly celebrated the good fortune of Sridhar by chanting the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Why did Lord give that prominence in the pastimes to Kolavecha Sridhar, this banana seller? Obviously, there's no disqualification or material qualification for bhakti, right? Unless we understand the simple, innocent essence of the heart of Sridhar, whether it's rich, poor, brahmachari, vanaprast, grihast, whatever may be, we really don't understand. Those are not the essentials. Sridhar wanted nothing for himself. He found unlimited more pleasure in pleasing Krishna, that is Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu. When you water the root, every part of the tree is automatically satisfied. So Krishna is the root. And Sridhar wasn't a Brahmin who was obviously technically eloquent in pujas or anything of that kind. He was not offering Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mantra, tantra, yantra, mudra or puja. Lord Chaitanya would come and steal his bananas, and Lord Chaitanya could not give up the company of Sridhar. He just loved him just because of his simplicity and purity of heart. This was the relationship that both of them had. So, like this, Mahaprakash Leela continues with other devotees like Murari Gupta or Haridas Thakur, Mukund. So, like this, there are so many episodes where pure devotion is revealed and where pure devotees, they just ask for only, things that matter to them most. I never want to forget you. I want to be in the association of devotees. I never want to forget this form of Nimai coming to me to steal bananas. I don't want to forget that form. That means he wants to remember Krishna all the time. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, yes, I'll give you this prema so you can remember him all the time. This is the point, dear devotees. Every incident would say and reiterate this fact that devotees would ask for this benediction of not wanting to forget Krishna and being in the association of devotees. Nothing more. Anyways, I just wanted to stop with this pastime. Obviously, there's more to go, but I thought I could give you a glimpse of what the difference is, right? When you think of Krishna to be the supreme controller within your heart, it's a different feeling altogether, right? And then when you think of Krishna to be your associate, to be you're his, you are his servant, eternal servant, trying to serve the Lord, please the Lord. How much feelings and rasa you experience through that process, both are so incomparable. And how much the devotees hanker for his association, having gotten that rasa, is something that we can only talk about and relish it to ourselves. And for us to experience it, we have to understand what pure devotion is. That's the crux. Over and over, Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, everything, all over and over, the point is understanding pure devotion, what that means. So, with that, dear devotees, we will end the class today. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासन्तुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the simple devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. What a beautiful pastime. And I think the devotees from Eldoret enjoyed it doubly because for Gaur Purnima, we did this play of Kolecha Sridhar. So we could really understand, and we did just a 10 minutes play, but you gave us the whole story. And I think it was a fantastic class. That's all I can say for the time being. Any questions or comments from the group?
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much. Same exact thing I heard from Swamiji in Mayapur.
Yes, I have to. Yes, I have to. I'm so fond of his lectures from Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was told that Maharaj actually gives us. He read Chaitanya Charitamrita many times even before the book got published. That was his curiosity and enthusiasm as far as Chaitanya Charitamrita goes. And when I heard that, I was just a big fan of Maharaj, just wanting to hear his lectures over and over, make notes, and absolutely, that devotion that Maharaj is able to portray to us is completely different from what I deliver, or it's just not matchable. But yeah, I'm very much blessed, Mataji. Our duty is to repeat the words of our acharyas, and I just want to repeat his words over and over again because I want that to be imbibed in my heart.
Yes,
Hare
thank you.
Krishna,
Thank you so much.
Mataji. If I can dare to ask, which Maharaj? I didn't get the name.
Radhanath, His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Any questions or comments? Yes, Dennis Prabhu, you have to make a comment because you were the narrator of Kolvecha Sridhar in that play. Hare Krishna, are you able to unmute? Dennis, Dennis? Maybe he's having challenges with the internet. So I can end the session. Thank you so much, Mataji, for this lovely, sweet nectar. Today's class was the best. It's like an icing on the cake that we have been eating the whole week. Thank you for your time. And let us all chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra once in glorification of Her Grace Radhika Kasturi Mataji. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Hare Rama, Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha
कृपा
कृपासिन्धुभ्यो
सिन्धुभ्य एव च
पतितानां
पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो
नमो
नमः।
नमः।
नमो नमः। Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Grace
All
Radhika
glories to
Kasturi
the
Mataji
humble devotees.
ki
All
jai.
glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Grantraj Srimad
Srimad
Bhagavatam ki
Bhagavatam ki jai.
Hare
See you
Krishna.
all next week, dear devotees. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Wonderful session. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hari Bol.
Hari Bol.